forced starvation, force feeding bodily fluids, physical assault, sexual assault, and strip searches on kids as young as 12 years old. Those are some of the many troubling allegations that have plagued what's called the troubled teen industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry for decades, and continues to this very day. Last fall, Paris Hilton opened up about her experience with this industry. She attended a school called Provo Canyon in Utah. She vowed to take this industry on and close these schools for good. The question is she following through on those promises? Well, she joins us to discuss. And joining us now from Los Angeles is Paris Hilton. Paris, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Back in the fall of last year, you released your documentary, This is Paris, on YouTube. We actually spoke about it for a piece I was working on for The Observer last year. And one of the kind of the big open questions that I got following the report was if you were going to really follow through on some of your claims and remarks about how you were going to address the stuff in the troubled teen industry, or whether that was, ultimately kind of a PR move. So fast forward to today, it's very evident that the PR move is not that you're taking this stuff on. You're taking it seriously. You most recently testified in front of the Utah State Legislature about what happened to you at Provo Canyon. Tell me about kind of what happened there.
Well, I am so proud just with this movement and all the change it's creating. So last week we flew to Utah, and it was with the state Senate, and I met with all the state leaders. I met with the governor, and then I did my testimony, and it was very emotional, very hard. But I am grateful that I was brave and strong and did it, because after that, all the senators were speaking, and they really learned so many things that they didn't even know that were happening in their state. And they realized that Utah does not have laws that are protecting children, and they said that they need to do better. And it was just amazing to see that and to hear from them. And then it was passed unanimously in the state Senate.
In your testimony, were there any responses that you got from any state legislatures that particularly stood out to you?
There was a lot. Just hearing from all the senators, everyone was visibly upset. Some of them were crying. And especially when Senator Kitchen, he looked at us, because there was myself and two other survivors that spoke and did their testimonies, and said, I am so deeply sorry, and we failed you as a state. And just to hear that was so validating, just to know that they understood what was happening. And also, which was a surprise to me and made me just so happy to hear, was after they heard the bill, they said, this isn't enough. There needs to be more done. So they want to add more into the bill to protect children even more, just from hearing what we said. So all my expectations were just I didn't expect that. And for that to happen was just an amazing surprise.
I want to take a step back here. You've been fighting this issue for a little while. What's next?
Well, as I said, this is just the beginning. And next we are going to be taking this to a federal level. So there's protection for children in all 50 states. So I just am going to be working with my team and working with senators and just pushing for this as much as possible. And I will not stop until this is over, until change happens.
So I hear you have a new podcast. Are you going to tackle this issue on there at all?
Definitely. I just signed my new podcast deal with iHeartRadio. So it'll be my podcast. And then I also am going to be owning a podcast company called London Audio. So under that umbrella, I'm going to have other podcasts. So I'm going to talk about this on my main show, but I also had an idea to have one podcast that is dedicated to just this cause, to talk to survivors, to talk to other people and allies who are really invested in trying to make a difference and just raising awareness. And that's something that we are planning coming up this month.
Okay, thanks. Paris Hilton joining us from Los Angeles. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
And that's your business brief for today. I'm Andy Hirschfeld, New York.